changes will switch. And am I missing anything? I don't think so. All right. In memory of the leopard gecko we owned that I don't remember, let's start a show. What was his name, Carter? Steve?
Yeah. Steve.
All right.
Oh, that's great.
Steve the leopard gecko.
We got it from someone else.
Did you? Okay. Did you name him after Uncle Steve?
No, we got it from someone else.
Oh, it was already named Steve. All right.
He came with the name Steve. Leopard gecko came with the name Steve.
You know, they're not gonna. The leopard's not gonna. The gecko's not gonna like it if you start calling it some new name. He won't behave properly if you do.
I love that. I love it.
That's funny. All right. What the hell am I doing? All right, here we go.
Stranger Things Steve. Poor Stranger Things Steve.
Poor him.
Oh,
but also poor. What's the girl in the coat in the first season? What's her name? Gail? No, not Gail.
Brenda.
She had glasses and the big coat.
Yeah. Well, I was referring to a show that he's currently on. That,
I'm not caught up, so that'll be fun.
I'm not saying. Don't worry, I'm not a spoiler or anything.
It's all right. I have a feeling things are heading in a very bad place.
Barb.
Yeah, Barb. That's it. Barb.
Should remember Barb in the Upside Down. Poor Barb.
Yeah, poor Barb. That was a very sad thing.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Gotta hit record. Okay, we did. All right, here we go. We're recording. It's going. It's happening in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Ralph here. Me and my pal Brian are hosting all your favorite NBC shows this Saturday morning. It's going to be out of this world.
At first glance, it looks like something out of Star Trek.
The Morning Stream. Save it for the French.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to TMS. It's the morning stream for Thursday, January 11th, 2024. I'm Scott Johnson with Brian Hibbett. Hello, Brian. I know how to say your name, unlike a certain
You do,
someone.
unlike Leo, whose last name shall not be mentioned.
Laporte.
I mentioned it. Oops, sorry about that. Accidentally
Laporte.
slipped out. Darn it.
Darn it. Who knew? Yes, go ahead.
Who knew? Public service announcement really quick before we get to our top topics.
Yeah.
Today is the last day. If you like Southwest Airlines, as I do, I don't mind going and picking my own seat. No problem with that at all. It actually works out really well when I can walk down the aisle and say, nope, he smells. Nope, she's going to talk the whole time. Nope, small baby. Nope, that guy heavy like me and he's leaning over the armrest. Nope.
Wow.
Anyway, you can pick and choose. But if you like Southwest Airlines, you're flying to TMS Vegas. Today is the last day to take advantage of their WoW sale. It's not related to World of Warcraft, surprisingly enough, but 40% off fares if you use the code WOW.
Oh, interesting. That's just a thing they're doing countrywide, nationwide?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, nationwide. So,
right. Yeah, if you don't mind the way it works and the whole kind of cattle method of loading people on a train or a plane.
And really, it's more Tina gets to do that. Like basically, when we fly, it's an understanding, and probably an unfair one. But Tina is like, no, I'll take the middle seat. You can have either the aisle or the window. Yeah. Super generous of her. She is a saint, and we know from everything else that she's done that she's just Saint Tina. But I let her pick. So basically, I let her lead, and she goes down the aisle and says, looks and sees who's maybe already got the window seats, and says, nope, not that guy. Nope, not her. Nope. And
yeah, because if you're going to be in the sandwich position, you got to make some choices. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. I get that. So she'll choose a middle that she likes, and then you're like, all right, cool. I'll take the aisle here then, or I'll take the window there, or whatever. I get it.
Right. Claire in our chat room asks, how does this not end up in fights? It's kind of understood. Well, not really understood, but I pretty much pay for all of our travel flight-wise, with some exceptions. She paid for Tokyo and a couple other trips, but I think it's just kind of an unwritten rule. If you buy the tickets, you get your first choice of seats.
I mean, it makes sense, right? That makes sense. That's a thing. I mean, we do. Yeah. We have a similar thing, but we don't. we don't. It's just a thing that I always get aisle if I can get it.
Yeah,
that's just the thing. And she doesn't care, so she has no worries. If she's window, great. If she's aisle, great. If she's middle, great. She doesn't care. But if I can get aisle, I will get aisle almost 100% of the time. And there's a reason. People always say, "Why you want the aisle seat?" It's because my legs. I'm of a tall freak, and my legs don't fit good, and my knee. Even though it's only a little bit, it's only a little reprieve. I get a little bit of knee space. Now, it comes with a caveat. I have to be careful because when they bring that drink cart through,
right,
bam.
If they come in from the back, you don't know about it. It's like a little EV. You don't hear it until it's right on you.
Yeah, you nail you right in the knee, and it sucks. So don't do that.
And here's another thing: Southwest doesn't do that anymore. They don't have a drink cart. They come and they take everybody's order. Like they split the cabin up into thirds.
Yeah.
They take everybody, a different attendant takes everybody's order, and then they just run drinks back and forth. And they never do the drink cart, which I think is really, it helps with people who need to go to the bathroom, because that really just becomes a big old plug that you are not getting to the aft bathrooms if you are at the back of the plane, but that drink cart is behind you.
Yeah, what if you're sitting next to IBS Bob, who has to, at a moment's notice, get the hell up? You can't. What are you going to do, climb over everything? I've seen that episode of Seinfeld. Elaine gets screwed on that deal,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Bruce Valanche, or whoever that was, stopped all the traffic in the middle of the plane, and she was like, not Bruce Valanche. It's another center square guy. It's not Bruce Valanche. It's
right. It's
I know
who you're talking about.
You know who I mean. He's kind of
Yes,
flamboyant, a flamboyant kind of guy.
Yes.
Anyway, whatever. 90s
I'll never
kids.
think of it.
Yeah.
And I've never seen, the whole choose your own seat thing. Never seen a problem on a flight where somebody, wants a seat or it's almost every time, if you're really nice and you're like, oh, my wife and I, could we sit together? Is there any chance you'd take this other seat so my wife and I can sit together? Almost every time I've seen somebody get up and change seats so that a couple can sit together. Never seen a fight.
No, that usually is not a problem. Most people are cool.
Yeah.
Especially if they're alone already themselves. They don't care where they go. I've moved for people when I was alone on a flight. And they were like, hey, can I, my daughter's way back there and I'd really like to keep my eye on her. Is that okay? And I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. Let's do it. And I even went back to a terrible part of the plane, way in the rear with the loud engine and everything. That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah, some guy came up to me and said, I'd really like to sit next to your wife. Could I swap seats with you? I'm like, yeah, sure, absolutely. And so we swapped seats. So
be nice is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, be like us. We're so nice. Look how nice we are. We're incredibly nice. You know what people like is people that tell other people how nice they are. They love that about us.
They love it. Oh, people, those are the nicest people, are the ones who have to tell you how nice they are.
How nice they are, or how good looking they are, or how smart they are. Always someone to trust and believe in. Well, anyway, that is good news. WOW is the code if you're trying to save a little bit of money, and that is good. 40%. Jeez, that's like a Steam winter sale. Get on.
Yeah, get on it. Get on it if you're. If you're doing things. I booked my flight last night, so Tina and I decided we're going to come to TMS Vegas this year.
Good. I was hoping you guys would come.
Really looking forward to seeing people this year. So
now you're tempting me to go.
You should go. You should go.
You know what? I'm doing it. I'm saying it. Okay, I'm telling you right now.
Awesome.
Yep. I'm loading up the car. I'm going to come participate in the event this year. This is good news.
Good.
All right,
excellent.
Let's dive into some stuff. My sister will be here later. We got a weird one, so hang on for that. But to get things going, we got a couple of follow-ups. Jeff Sires always a guy to hear us and then immediately want to correct us or tell us something or whatever.
He is, yes.
Yeah, that's
love
his job.
Love his feedback. Never ever stop, Jeff.
Yeah, he's one of our favorite people in the world. Please continue to be yourself. Jeff Sire wrote in.
He come to TMS Vegas, by the way.
He was there last year. Yeah, he was there last year.
Oh, he was there last year.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise, yeah.
I was thinking the year before, but it was last year. Look, there's a lot of you. We forget sometimes. It's okay.
That's right. Sorry, Jeff. I say how much I love him, and then I can't remember that he was there last year.
Well, I will say I didn't get to spend enough time with him. I can say that.
Oh, well, I don't get to spend enough time with anybody.
Yeah, I hate that part. Anyway, Jeff says, he wrote in an email form, says, Scott and Brian, knowing Scott's obsession with weird body facts. Oh, you think you know me, do you? He says, here's another one. Your eyes are part of your brain. I think I already knew this, but it's still fun to look at. When your body develops in utero, brain material is squirted out of your brain cavity into your eye sockets and then become your eyes. The parts of your brain are connected to the nerves and are the only thing between your eyeballs and your brain are your optic nerves. From the Cleveland Clinic site, here's what they say. Your optic nerve is a direct connection between your eyes and brain. How your eyes develop also means your retinas are technically part of your central nervous system, brain, and spinal cord. Your eyes are one of your brain's windows to the world, unquote. Well, Jeff, I think I knew that, but I didn't know about the squirted in there part.
No, I didn't know about, obviously you knew, all right, well, yeah, your eyes are connected to your brain by the optic nerve. Did not know that that technically your eyes are part of your brain. That is fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they develop in the brain,
in utero, yeah,
quote unquote, squirt out into your eye sockets.
Yes, squirt it out. Is that the medical term, Dr. Jerry? Could we get a confirmation about your eyes being squirted out of your brain in utero?
Yeah.
Please?
Also, that just sounds awful, but
it does. I hear there's a noise that I hear with
yeah,
like your eyeballs being.
But it
formed.
makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like saying, I don't know, your headlights and your windshield are part of your car. Well, of course they are. It's like, there's a direct connection. When I see things happen here, I'm now processing that data.
I mean, I knew that they were obviously connected,
right?
But didn't know that they're part of the same organ, basically. Yep. Or they start out part of the same organ.
So our favorite Canadian, I shouldn't say that. I have a lot of Canadian friends. One of our favorite Canadians has put us on the right path. Thank you, Jeff. Yes. I appreciate it. Then we got one for Brian. This is from KCB.
Yeah.
This is about Screamo, the kind of heavy metal that you and I don't like.
Correct. Well, and he's clarifying that, which I appreciate. So
yeah, we appreciate some clarification. He says, "Dear Scooter and Bicycle, it grinds my gears a little every time Brian refers to heavy metal with harsh vocals as quote unquote Screamo. I know over the years Screamo has become a blanket term for any music with harsh vocals. The true Screamo is emo." With screaming, scream plus emo equals Screamo. Emo itself is a derivative of punk. Derivative, that's an interesting way of saying it. I'll ask about that in a second.
It's okay. Yeah.
But we'll get to that because I do have questions about the entomology of such things. Anyway, I'm not going to threaten to quit listening because of it. That's just silly. I'm a fan and a patron of everything on the network, and I've been listening to Everything Frog Pants since discovering the instance in 2009. I love you guys, and thanks for all the years of entertainment. I guess this is where I insert the obligatory love the show, though. Sincerely, KCB. Well, Casey.
Right. Let me address the first part of this. He's absolutely right. Yeah. I do tend to label everything that has those Cookie Monster vocals.
Yeah.
With the term Screamo, and I shouldn't. I need another term for that because I like heavy metal, but I don't like that. And I need a little classification. It's like the reality show versus the reality competition show differentiation that I think is important. I need a differentiation for the metal with screaming in it that separates it from the emo.
Yeah. I agree.
Screametal? Is that better?
Screametal.
And that way we don't have emo? Screametal?
Screametal.
Screametal. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how you do it. Like I felt pretty comfortable saying Screamo before this email, like you, and maybe I over apply it as well. I just know it when I hear it, and I just don't like it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you could have somebody going, "Oh," over the top of anything.
Yeah,
any kind of genre, and I'd be like,
a country song. How come there are no country songs with the Cookie Monster vocals in there? Or
Scuntry, they call it.
Scuntry. Oh my gosh,
yep.
It feels that feels so close to a dirty word, but it isn't. But it really feels like we're dancing on the edge of a blade there.
I was trying to find a video real quick of some audio of an example of this. And the first 5 videos are not all metal is scream. It's like a bunch of people telling us what this email is telling us.
Sure.
So let me see if I can find this real fast.
Probably not in the nice way that KCB tells us.
Probably not. Okay, there's a little kid. They say this little kid knows Screamo. Let's see what we get here.
I'm going to sing right now for one time. Let it go.
There you go. She did it. She's got a huge career ahead of her. Good luck.
I love it. That maybe I could listen to a little bit of that. But,
oh, I got to tell you a funny story about kids. So yesterday, I go upstairs after doing some stuff and didn't know it, but the kiddos were here. Taylor was getting a touch-up on a tattoo, and she was like, Kim was watching the kids. Mm-hmm. And Kim had to go run Van to school. This all happened around the same time. So she's like, can you just watch Phoebe for a little while? She's going to go down for a nap as soon as I get back. I said, no problem. Love it. Don't ever get to spend a lot of time with her alone. Let's do it. I love it. So I'm hanging out with her. We're watching Miss Rachel. Now, any parents of infants will know what this is. Miss Rachel is a YouTube channel that would destroy your brain, Brian, if you heard it.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
It's one of these little kids love it. The little babies love it. It's a very popular YouTube channel. But it's basically this lady named Miss Rachel that is constantly going, can you say red? Oh, good job! Like, it's that kind of tone the whole time.
So it's made, oh, wow.
It's for little babies. Little babies, right?
Little tiny babies, yes.
Yeah, and they love it. She is absorbed by it, just sits and stares at it. So for the most part, I'm just sitting there with her, and I'm talking to her, and she's looking at the TV, and she'd look at me and smile. And then if there's a dance or a clap thing from the Miss Rachel thing, she'll go, start doing it, and she's kind of talking now and can say words and all this. And I'm like, what's that? I'll point at the screen. She goes, Miss Rachel. She knows what it is.
Oh, that's great.
It's really cute. But anyway, yeah.
Like that she's watching that over Blippo or some kid unboxing toys or something like that. Like, good for her that it's something that actually seems like it's interacting with her and engaging her.
It is, and it's teaching them good stuff. Like, I tease it, I make fun of it, but the truth is it's based on some pretty sound, like, tiny baby educational stuff. So
right. And I guess I shouldn't disparage Blippo because I know Mateo and Ava liked it for a while, and people like Blippo. So
and they'll grow. It's not. Is it Blippo?
I might be getting their name wrong.
I like that name though. If it's it's not Blippo, we're gonna make a new kid show.
Does
named
somebody
Blippo.
already have the name Blippo on YouTube? Darn it! Oh, somebody does. Dang it!
Blippo.com.
Blippy.
42
says Blippy.
Is it Blippy? Okay. Not Bluey.
Blippo is the emo version of Blippy.
Bluey's like more advanced.
When you mix Blippy and emo, you get Blippo.
Yeah. Boy Cried Wolf says Bluey. No. Bluey's like that's leagues ahead.
I like Bluey. Yeah.
Bluey rules.
Oh, Blippy with an I. There it is right there. Blippy.
Okay. But what happens is kids usually grow past it, right? They see it, they like it, and then they move on. Well, she's at that stage, so she's super rocking out. She's only a year old. And anyway, at some point I noticed that she's starting to lean back a little bit into the couch, sinking into it, and her eyes are drooping. I'm like, we're getting tired, and Kim's not home yet because it's snowing. I'm like, I don't know when she thinks she's getting home. So I look at her and I go, "Are you tired?" And she goes, she looks at me with these droopy eyes and goes, "Night night." And I go, night night, nighttime for night night. She goes, "Yeah, night night." And I said, "You want to go now?" She goes, "Yes." So I pick her up. I take her in the room where we have a crib set up for her just when they're here. And I put her in it, and she goes, "Night night." I said, "Night night." And she goes, "Binky." And I go, "All right, here's your binky." Boom, stuck in her mouth. And she out of the side of her mouth goes, "Blanket." And I go, "Oh yeah, your blanket." I grab the blanket, put it up next to her face. She hugs up next to it, and I go, "Are you good?" And she just like rolls her eyes like this, falls asleep, and she was done. It was amazing, man. Kids are I want to sleep like that tonight. Can I do that tonight?
No kidding. Oh my God, I'd love that.
Can I just say to Kim, "Night night, binky, blanket," and then just
And you're the best grandpa ever for doing all that too. Not like somebody wouldn't. Like, nope, can't have your blanket.
No, not at all. She's adorable. I need more time with her like that because it's always Kim or Taylor or something.
Yeah.
But I can caretake when it comes down to it. I can do what I need to do, and it's fun.
I used for the first time last night this thing that looks like an IUD.
Oh my Lord! Look at that thing.
This is these are the Philips Cocoon sleep headphones. I kickstarted this like 2 years ago, and they're like earbuds that go that are flat and deep enough into your ear that when you're laying on your side, I'm a side sleeper, that there's no pressure in my ear from me laying on these things.
Yeah.
So basically, I did last night, had white noise going on and a little bit of rain sound for a while, and man, slept really well until I realized I had I put the size 5 earbuds on, and I think I need a size 4. So I replaced them this morning with the size 4.
So they fall out if you don't? Wait, no, smaller.
The 5 were just a little bit too big. It was hurting my ears after, I woke up at about 2, and they were hurting my ears. So I was like, oh, all right, let's go with the size 4 tonight. So still evolving, but dang, these things are great. Having the white noise.
Yeah.
Works great.
It really does look like Mrs. Anderson, your IUD fell out. We're going to refit
exactly.
it. And,
I'm never going to get pregnant again. But
that's cool
for a side sleeper. And that is so non-intrusive. I wear the CPAP with it. I still have my Spider-Man eye mask with it. My head. I look like Claude Rains is the Invisible Man with so much crap on my head with the CPAP and the sleep mask and the ear thing. And,
yeah, look like Johnny Mnemonic in there.
Exactly. So
that's cool.
What I need is just have it all in one little bank robber mask that I could just pull over my face and have it all.
You can just go 2 weeks and have it go and disappear. That's cool. So wait a minute. So this is a thing I can get. I can buy somewhere now.
You can buy it now. Yeah, if you go to cocoon.com, I think KOKOON.
Because I'm also a side sleeper.
Yeah, they're really really nice.
Sorry, how you spell it? Cocoon.
KOKOON.
KOON. It's an interesting spelling.
Oh my God! I mean, they're asking Red Fraggle saying what pictures of IUDs have you guys seen? It's really the IUDs that I remember from looking at in middle school or junior high when they showed us those weird little contraptions that were just meant to irritate the hell out of the uterus so that it wouldn't produce or so that
it can
seeds. Yeah, it was kind of like a coil. It looked like a let me find one. Let me just find one.
Yeah, look one up.
The old IUDs.
To me, it would just I'd have to just take everyone's word for it about how they're shaped because I have no idea. I don't think I've ever seen an IUD.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean now
Kim had one, but I don't remember looking at it.
Yeah, this is like kind of like the one that I remember. Copy image address.
Yeah, just give that to me in Discord there.
I'll give it to you in Discord. Probably better.
Yeah, it'll be faster. Oh yeah. Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. All right, here you go, chat. Look at that thing.
Or look at these guys.
There's a
Tell
snake
me that
in my
this does
boot.
not look like the Philips Cocoon headset that I just showed on screen.
All right, let's take a. Oh yeah, look at this. See,
yeah.
You know what?
Come on.
Brian's not smoking crack. Look at this thing.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. It is.
See, if you showed me this, I would just say your neon sign is not complete, ma'am. I don't know what's wrong.
We haven't finished making your neon sign.
Yeah, that's funky.
Yeah.
All right. Yep, I'm convinced that you had the right comparison.
Thank you very much.
I still, if you hadn't told me what these were, I wouldn't know what this is.
Oh yeah, no, you should have got some old ones and brought them to Vegas and said, identify these, up on stage. Or something.
Oh, you know what? Icor just sent me one I have seen.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the little T-shaper thing.
That looks like the T-shaped one is the way they currently look. Yeah.
Right, and then that. Well, I don't want to know the details, but that goes up your hooter, right? That's all up in your hooter.
Yeah.
All right. And but how do you whatever? Do doctors put that in, or can the person who does it do that?
Oh, you can put them in yourself.
Okay. Sweet. Well, I'll look for it.
I think you're not supposed to leave them in all the time, or no? I don't know, man. This is sorry. It's been since junior high school that I learned about IUDs clearly.
Oh, Red Fraggle says it goes in your cervix. Okay. Well, I don't have one of those, so I don't know.
And Claire says you don't put them in yourself. You do have to have them put in by a doctor. Really? Okay. All right.
Oh, okay. Well, I see. We don't know. All right. We don't know.
Yeah. See, this is never been with a woman who was using an IUD. Just the pill. Thank you very much. Just the pill.
This is the most dude info you're ever going to get.
It really is. Like this is worse than when we try and explain LGBTQ issues. Mm-hmm. Is us explaining IUDs.
Yeah. Now let me tell you about the struggle of the black man during the 60s.
That's right.
Let me tell you all that I know there. Okay, so my question though is,
it's the what's the that's the one you put in yourself. The the disc. What is the disc called?
Oh, the little cup. The
cup, right? What is that? What's that stupid thing called?
It's not the sponge. That's what Elaine couldn't get enough of.
No, not a moon cup.
Diaphragm. That's
diaphragm is the word. Yes, the diaphragm you put in yourself. The IUDs you don't put in yourself.
No. And then I know how condoms work. Those are pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, very familiar with those. Yes. Yeah. Hey, look, we know how our own stuff works.
It's
yeah,
totally fine. We know what's up there.
Yeah.
Just hard to find the big ones, if you know what I'm saying. You know, the big ones are rare. Well, anyway, there you have that. I'm glad.
By the way, we kind of glossed over. We were going to really quickly address emo being a derivative of punk.
Is that the case? I didn't know that's where it came from.
I feel like it is. I feel like stuff. There's a blanket label of punk these days that I think gets incorrectly applied to a lot of bands. I think Green Day is punk. I think for me, the definition of punk is rock that, for the most part, not every song has to do this, but the band has to have a few songs where they are protesting in a way the status quo, protesting. The Sex Pistols did it. The Ramones did it. You look at a lot of the bands, the punk bands from the 70s.
Yeah. Even your 90s pop
were
punk.
Anti-establishment.
Yeah. Even that. Like, even right now, Green Day's taking heat for changing. What did they change? On New Year's Day, they changed Redneck Agenda and American Idiot to Mega Agenda.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Pissed off a bunch of mega people, which is funny because who did they think they were singing about back in 2004? Who did they think they were railing against? Anyway, the point is,
anyway, that's what I consider punk. People really can define punk any way they want, but for me, growing up with the Sex Pistols and the Ramones and Public Image Limited, well, Public Image Limited to some degree, and what punk is now is everything that I think does include modern punk, Green Day, but also things like Blink 182, Sum 41. Trying to think of other purely do Panic at the Disco and
Panic's more.
We're going down. What is that? That's Fall Out Boy. Are they considered punk?
I don't know if Fall Out Boy is. Maybe they can. I mean, it's hard. That's why it's hard with the modern stuff. To me, you have to have two things. One is Fight the Man, and the other is a style of music. So you could say the Fight the Man part is definitely part of Rage Against the Machine, but they're not a punk band. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you got to have a sound too, I think, for that to work. Otherwise, you're just
pop punk is a good description. Yeah, Panic is more alternative. But anyway, so I think it really depends on your definition of punk. But the evolution of emo being kind of that railing against something, whether it's not having the right order, they get your name wrong on your mocha at Starbucks, or the government is taking away jobs. Whatever you're railing against, if you're doing it with an emo sound, then you're the evolution of emo from punk.
Sure. Yeah. Emo is that kind of like, I always hear it in my head is like, listen to me. Or no, how's it go? I can't think of an example, but it's like a no,
it really is. Yes, exactly.
Got like a whiny thing going on. That's fine, but whatever. Someone in the chat, or Max Strollbot says genres suck. I think what he means is categorizing sucks. You can have weird offshoots.
Well, pigeonholing. I mean, I think categorizing, and Jeannie Soros says humans label things. That's how our brains make sense of the world. What needs to happen is an end to the judgment attached to those labels. Here, 100%. We need labels, because otherwise when we go to the record store, how are we going to find the jazz albums?
Right.
If you've got them mixed in with the light rock. Okay?
Right.
We need labels.
How are you going to do it? Also,
yes.
Have you seen Johnny Rotten lately? Look at this link I just sent.
No, that's not Johnny Rotten.
That's
really?
Johnny Rotten today. Yeah. I saw an interview the other day and I went, oh
no.
I worry that he's got, I don't know, he's just sitting around a lot or something. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, you know what? Whatever. We all age.
Of course we do. We all put on the pounds.
I've gained weight.
Yeah.
I don't want to say how much weight I've gained since last year after getting off of Noom. Whoops. Noom. Really, after watching what I eat. Really, it's not Noom or not having Noom. It's logging what I eat, which I've gone back to. But
Maybe
that might be the wrong outfit for Johnny Rotten.
Yeah, it's like his pajamas.
It really
just wearing his jammies.
It's like causing a moire pattern in my head.
Yeah.
That's a moire.
It's funny though, because you have these rebel people you consider to be rebel stars of when they were coming up or whatever.
Yeah.
And you always forget that these people eventually, like those guys. I was looking at Green Day the other day. These first 4 singles they released, amazing. Can't wait for the whole album in a couple of weeks. It's gonna be great. But then every time I see them, I'm reminded, oh right, they're like my age.
Yeah.
They're like 50 something. And
and
that isn't going to stop. So at what point do we go, I don't know. It's weird how we do this, because when they're in their youth, it's like, yeah, man, we're never going to die. We're young and we're this and we're that, and we can do a billion drugs and nobody's going to care, and it's, screw you, man, I'm doing my whatever. And then eventually they get to be old Johnny Rotten sitting in his underwear or sitting in his pajamas. Mm-hmm. That's just life. Yeah. This is it.
It's just shocking. It's only shocking to me, not the fact that people age, but just that I've only everything I've ever seen with John Lydon in it, whether it was his Johnny Rotten years with Sex Pistols or frontman for Public Image Limited or the solo stuff. He's always just been this little wiry looking dude with a shock of red hair on the top of his head, and that's a look I was not expecting from This Is Not a Love Song.
No, I didn't expect it either. I don't know what I expected.
Different. Can you imagine what Sid Vicious would look like if he was still alive?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine that? I cannot imagine it.
Yeah, or Johnny Ramone, or there's
the classics. Well, anyway, may we all
Maybe we all age more like Iggy Pop.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about that, though.
Well,
I saw Iggy Pop the other day. I'm worried about his spine. He's got some spinal...
Dude, he's like a freaking snake, that guy.
Yeah, there's something up there with him. It's fine. He's still killing it. He's out there on stage just destroying crowds, still being who he is. But when I watch him move, I worry about him. He's just, whatever. We all slow down.
Dr. Calhoun, PhD, is sending us. Is this another picture of John Lydon?
I don't know.
It looks a lot better here from November. So there's a link. I'll give you a link. It's a link to his Instagram where he's talking.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Maybe he's doing a little better. This thing was from a year ago or last year. Whatever. The pandemic was hard, man.
It was hard.
I gained a bunch of weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lost most of it, but it's still.
You're doing a great job of getting rid of it. Me, getting there.
It's honestly just been down
need to get over this cold so I can get back on the Apple Fitness Plus, riding my bike in front of a giant
lady
video screen thing.
A giant lady. Did you see that video of the Peloton lady trying to help? Who was it? Freaking Oppenheimer director. What's wrong? Christopher Nolan.
Oh, Christopher Nolan? Uh-huh.
Yeah, Nolan's got a Peloton lady who is reaming him about why she couldn't understand what was happening in
Oppenheimer?
No, the last one.
In the last one.
Tinnitus or whatever it was called.
Tenet.
Yeah. Tinnitus. Yeah. And she could not get her head around it, and she just kind of sat there. And she's doing the spin class. She goes, yeah, that movie I never understood where
really?
It didn't.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. So,
it was great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. If you get a chance,
I need to watch Tenet again. I remember liking it a lot, and then hearing a bunch of people's complaints about it and saying, maybe I need to revisit it. But I really liked the really clever premise of it, and
I liked it fine. I just think it had so much controversy around it and its release about when to do it, how to do it, pandemic time, this, that, and the other, and that was so prominent in the story of it coming out that it really got in the way for me. So when I did finally see it, it was like free of all that, and I was like, oh, this is cool. This is Christopher Nolan shit. This is like what I love most from him. I like Inception,
the twisty, turny, mind-bending.
I mean, Inception's still my favorite thing. I love that. I like Interstellar next. I might like Oppenheimer more. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
Oh yeah, you do need to see Oppenheimer. It's so good.
Yeah.
Not twisty though. No. Middle of the movie. Oh my gosh, everything is taking place in a third universe. No.
No spinning tops. No.
No
slowed down van diving in the river. None of that.
None of that, unfortunately. Yeah.
It's too bad that historical movies have to adhere to historical norms.
Well, not if you're Ridley Scott.
That's true. Let's attack the pyramids as if they never happened. All right, everybody, we're gonna get some news done, and it'll be great. So enjoy this. It's time for the news, and it's brought to you by
The Return of Coverville. Yeah, the first episode of the year, and it's going to be a good one. Jimmy Page is turning 80, so expect to hear some covers of the Yardbirds. Of course, his time with Led Zeppelin, like he was in there for a brief amount of time. Yeah. Some Led Zeppelin covers, and unfortunately, nobody covers Radioactive by the Firm, so nothing there, but maybe something by Coverdale and Page or Jimmy Page and the Black Crowes. Anyway, that's going to be coming up today. Twitch.tv/Coverville, 1 p.m. Mountain Time. No, noon Mountain Time. That's right. That's the new time.
Oh, noon.
12 p.m., 12 noon Mountain Time, twitch.tv/Coverville.
Well, SEO class is over with then? Are they done?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You learned all you needed to know.
I learned all I need to know. I'm putting it into practice with a couple clients and waiting. We were going to start seeing results here. Should start seeing some movement this month, but it's really like a 3-month process.
Nice. Good times.
Yeah.
Let's talk about cat and dog and their intrinsic love for one another that they have.
All right, good.
Normally they're barking and fighting and hissing, but not in this case. A cat saved a dog from a coyote attack.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a big deal. A video posted on Instagram by the New York Post shows a cat jumping in to save a dog from coyotes. Some would say coyotes. When I was a kid,
coyotes. Some people say coyotes.
Yeah.
Was there a roadrunner involved in this at all?
There was no roadrunner involved.
Okay. All right.
But there was a super genius involved.
Nice. Good. Excellent.
In the video, I put an F in there. The family dog or the family dog is in a yard when it's attacked by 2 coyotes. A cat. Now I want to know: is it coyotes or coyotes?
Why can't it be both?
I mean, it can be, but should it
I think
be?
coyotes is the coyotes is the official name, but it's like calling opossums possums, right?
Okay.
They're really opossums.
Yeah.
But because parts of the country refer to them as possums for so long, the name possum gets approved as well. But coyotes, I believe, is the original name.
The OG. And I'm used to saying coyotes. That's what I'm used to.
Yeah,
So I'm sticking with that. Take that, coyotes.
Yeah. You don't say Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah. All I hear when I hear coyote, it's starting to sound funny even saying it, but I hear like an old 50s serial TV.
You hear Raylan Givens saying, we put them out there so the coyotes would get them.
Yeah. It's an Old West thing. That's what I hear.
Anyway. Coach from Home says, well, actually, opossum and possum are different animals?
Oh, is that
what?
Is that true?
Really?
I didn't know that. That's news to me.
I thought, okay, hold on a second. It's where they live in different parts of the world. Opossums live in North and South America, while possums live in Australia and other countries.
Oh,
crazy! All right,
I was hoping possums were from here and opossums were from Ireland. That's what I was really hoping.
That's right. My name is Patty Opossum. Patrick Opossum.
That's great. Man, everything's coming up Ireland lately.
No idea.
Been watching a lot of Irish stuff. That Barry Gogan kid.
Sure.
It's a weirdo Irishman.
Sharon.
Yeah. I've watched a bunch of stuff with Colin Farrell for no reason. I don't even know why I'm doing it, but I am. I don't know what's going on. Everything's coming up Irish.
Everything's coming. So thanks for the clarification. Who was it originally? Universal Cons? No. There we go. Codes from Home was the first person to correct me, so thank you for that. I've learned something new today. I thought opossums and possums were just the same thing.
Same.
Huh.
I had no idea.
But there are people who call opossums in North America. They call opossums possums.
Yeah, I think that's why you and I don't know this, because I think a lot of times they get interchanged for
exactly.
incorrectly apparently. But
Right.
yeah, I'm sure that's one of those deals where we just don't get it right. It's a little like.
I mean, it's like coyotes and coyotes. It's just a different way different way to call a different term for the same thing in this country, in North America.
Yeah.
A different term for the same thing.
Yeah. Although I guess in Coyote's case, we're pronouncing the same word just two different ways, whereas the other one has an O in it.
Right. Has an O. Yep. Exactly.
Well, anyway, in order to let's see, Oh yeah. All right. So here's what happens in the video. In the video, family dog in a yard, just doing yard shit,
doing dog stuff that they do.
dog things. Yeah. It's attacked by two coyotes. I'm going to switch and say coyotes the rest of this time.
Well, it was actually one coyote and one coyote.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And one had an Australian accent. We couldn't figure it out.
That's right.
Anyway, the cat comes in and chases the coyotes off. Now I'm saying coyotes and I don't even try. According to KKTV, the cat was a stray that the family takes care of. The dog did suffer some injuries from the coyote's bite, but recovered with stitches and a splint.
Which were also applied by the cat. It was
the
amazing.
The
like,
cat
they
is
cut that part of
incredible.
the video off, but the cat was like, "Do we need a tourniquet for this? No, let's just do a splint. We'll be fine."
Yeah. The cat called the Uber, took him to the hospital. The cat checked him in, says, "I'm not the family, but I was there." Yeah.
Put my name on there so you get health insurance.
Yeah.
Is what the cat said.
And they said, "Where do you work?" And he says, "Meow Wolf." And he said, "All right, we'll see you later." It's a terrible joke. Moving on.
Very good.
It says here, in order to keep your pets safe from coyotes, Colorado Parks and Wildlife suggests keeping pets on leash. I guess this happened in Colorado?
No, I think it happened in New York, but this article was from the Denver Gazette.
Oh, okay.
I was curious about that too, and the video came from the New York Post. I don't know where actually the New York Post shared the video. I couldn't tell where it was originally from, and I didn't go deep into figuring it out.
It looks like they're basically just using this as a PSA. This is like, so you've read this far. Here in Colorado, we recommend you do this.
Exactly.
Anyway, put them on leash, avoiding known or potential den sites and thick vegetation.
Yeah.
Watch out for that. Picking up small pets.
Thick vegetation.
Yeah, exactly. Picking up small pets is if confronted by a coyote, and supervising pets and exercising extra caution from dusk through dawn. The famous Tarantino written film, Dusk Through Dawn.
That's right. I watched Desperado last night, and
his role is so stupid in that. That's he's got the behind the toilet room. That's that whole scene, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I haven't watched yet, but I've watched this film. I've probably seen this movie 12 times.
Have you really? Okay,
Yeah.
It's only the second time watching it for me, and so I'm like, it was a long time ago seeing it the first time.
I used to love it.
Yeah. I like seeing a thing in this movie that we then see again in use in From Dusk Till Dawn. And
yeah, right.
You'll see what that is if it's not completely apparent.
Yeah, to me, I know what you're bringing up. Also,
Yeah.
If I remember right, Danny Trejo's coolest role ever.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
Yeah, the knife wielding, the throwing knife dude. Holy crap! I want
awesome.
I want Danny Trejo to be Gambit.
Yeah. Absolute
Disney
badass
X-Men.
in that thing. He's so good. And I forgot Buscemi was in it. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna
Oh
watch
my
it
god,
tonight.
I know. I'd forgotten too, and he's pretty freaking prominent.
Yeah,
You're
more
gonna
than you
have
think.
like 8 gifts just from the opening 3 minutes alone. I guarantee it.
Yep, it's gonna be great. Can't wait. So excited. Also, there's a very naughty sex scene in it, if I remember right.
There is, yeah.
Boobies are out and things. You
Boobies,
see butts. Some butts.
Salma Hayek in a very brief.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And some bums. There's some bums in there.
There's a lot of bums. Being walked on by what are those Spurs? Spurs on bums is what you see.
Spurs on bums.
Spurs on bums.
One final note: a Hollywood story.
Game I don't want to watch. By the way,
no, don't put money on that game. Here's a final celebrity story for you. Lisa Bonet. Some say Bonnet, and they're both correct.
Oh, really?
No, It's kind of like the
Okay.
it's like
all right. I was
coyotes.
gonna say, really? Who says that? And it's really correct? Okay.
Just a coyote reference, but
Gotcha. Oh, gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
We
All
call that
right.
a throwback
Boy, how
in
did
the
I miss
biz.
that?
Lisa Bonet, you remember her from that movie where the shotgun and the deal?
No, I remember from the Cosby Show and A Different World, Scott. That's what I remember her from.
Oh, right. I forgot about those.
Yeah, come on now.
The mother of Zoe Kravitz, right? Yeah,
Yes.
one of Immortan Joe's wives, Zoe Kravitz.
Right.
Anyway, Lisa Bonet has filed for divorce from Jason Momoa officially. They've been separated for a while. They had already mentioned that some time ago. But even though things seem to be flying high for old Momoa, she's had it with him leaving the toilet seat up.
Film that critics love in
Yeah.
theaters right now. Or is it not in theaters anymore after a week or two?
I think it did all right. It made $300 million worldwide. It's not bad.
Okay, it's not bad.
They made their money back, but I'm not sure if it had been just the States if it would have done well at all. I think it may have tanked. Hero movies in general aren't getting the best reception. DC movies in particular are not. So hurry up.
Come on,
James Gunn. Get that going, buddy.
I was thinking about when I was watching the X-Men films, it would be great if we could get James Gunn to come back very briefly to the MCU and do a Starjammers film. Because Starjammers feel like they could use his level of quirkiness that he was able to bring out with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, all your oddball comics,
your oddball groups.
He's your guy for that stuff.
He's your guy. Yep.
Yeah. And I don't know that there's any reason why Marvel couldn't get him back. I mean, he left. I don't know what his contract's like at DC now. This is a bigger deal.
If he can make movies for both companies, that'd be great. But I wonder if there's some sort of locked-in agreement. Says, no, you can only do movies for us.
Because he's
super committed to DC.
Yeah, and he's head of it. He head co-partner with that other guy. They're like head of that division now. So it can't be like the past where he can go, I'm doing a Guardians movie, and then I'm doing a Suicide Squad movie, and then I'm going to come back and do a Guardians movie. I don't think he's allowed to do that anymore. I could be wrong, but who knows? Anyway, they're getting divorced. Let's see his quote. We have all felt the squeeze of changes of these transformational times. It's my favorite newspaper. The transformational times.
Transformational times. Sure.
A revolution is unfolding in our family.
You never know what format it's going to arrive on your doorstep, too, which is great.
This is a weird thing to say. She says, a revolution is unfolding, and our family is no exception. Feeling and growing from the seismic shifts occurring. Do you have to be so freaking weird?
Right, exactly.
Just say we're not getting along. We're not getting along right now.
A revolution. We're maybe unconscious coupling is a little bit better than this. Than a revolution is unfolding.
Dude, I've never met one. But is Ron Howard the only normal person that grew up a child actor and then went on to do other stuff? Are they the only person that talks normal? Because all the rest of them are weird. They're all weird.
Yeah. I mean, there's a spectrum. You've got Corey Feldman on one end of the spectrum, and you've got
he's the bookend way over there.
He is the level 10, I think. And then Jason Bateman. Yeah, Jason Bateman's a great example of the other end of that.
Yeah, he's great. We love him.
Yeah,
and we love Michael J. Fox. As sad as his current state is, he was always amazing. Like you're right. There's definitely a range.
Yeah,
but some of these people land in a really funky place.
Yeah.
Well, may her shotguns ever misfire. All right.
Right, exactly.
Moving on, let's take a break. When we come back from this break, Wendi will be here. We're going to tackle a little something here. It's a little interesting, a little different, but we'll see what she makes of it. That's all coming up after this break. Brian, we need music to make the break. What do you got?
Yeah, so I've become a really big fan of an artist or a band that that performs under the name Khruangbin. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but they've got a great song called Texas Sun, Khruangbin. Love putting that on the background while I'm working. Really cool band. KHRUANGBIN if you're looking for them. This band actually reminds me a little bit of them. They're more psychedelic soul, Afro psychedelic soul from the West Coast. Yeah. The band is called Orgone, Orgone. You could rearrange those letters to spell Oregon, but don't, because you'll find something totally different. They have a brand new studio album coming out on February 9th, courtesy of Three Palm Records. It's called Chimera, and this is the first single from that album. It is called Lies and Games.
Just wait till you hear what shoppers are saying about Bradley's.
I like the prices and the sales.
The sale items are very well stocked.
I'm a comparative shopper, and that's why I come back here.
When you walk into the store, the merchandise hits you right in the eye. It's so beautiful.
It's a nice place to shop.
I really like it. It's great.
Wow.
And we're back, everybody. Who was that again?
Well, this music hits you right in the eye. I love it. It's the band is called Orgone, O-R-G-O-N-E. Their brand new studio album is coming out February 9th. It's called Chimera. Here, that was the first song, the first single called Lies and Games, featuring Taryn Ector on vocals. Some cool psychedelic soul, which I was just in the mood for when I was hearing this and picking it out for the show. I was like, oh, I need more of this in my life.
What was that singer again? What was the name? The person?
The Orgone, O-R-G-O-N-E, or the one I was talking about called Krungbin.
No, the singer who sings for this band. You mentioned someone singing? Or
no,
maybe
I didn't mention the vocalist.
Oh, you didn't mention the vocalist. Okay, I thought you mentioned. I thought I heard a name that sounded really familiar to me.
Oh,
and I was going to ask if I should know that music or if I should know that name from somewhere else.
No, just Krungbin was the band I was comparing them to, and that's a good one to check out as well. Check out. I'll give you a name. Check out this song right here.
Okay.
Krungbin, Texas Sun. Put it in our Discord after the show.
Excellent.
Listen to that, and you'll be like, "Oh, Brian, this is great. This is my jam."
No, I'm into it.
Yeah.
You've yet to steer me wrong, so
yeah,
no concerns
Thanks.
here. All right, we're ringing Wendi. As Daryl used to say, we have the rings of ringage. The question is, will we have the rings of speakage?
I do notice that Discord has finally removed the Christmassy strings and violins and everything from their alert sound. It makes me sad.
That's a little sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
You want that stuff to be part of your life.
I want that stuff. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Speaking of Daryl, let's just, while we're waiting for Wendi, I'm going to play a couple old favorites from Daryl.
Oh, Miss Daryl.
How about this one?
It's like somebody peed in a pineapple.
Uh-huh. Yeah. How about this one?
Poop.
Okay, him saying "oh poop."
Good.
How about this one?
Oh, that's tender.
Yeah. Daryl's literally in his 60s now. Think of that.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. He's gotten older. How about this one?
Found a lemon in the ocean and ate it.
Should never do that. Just a little reminder, PSA.
Yeah.
If you find a lemon in the ocean, don't eat it.
I occasionally reach out to him and just say, "Hey, you want to come in just for a quickie? Just part of the deal."
Yeah.
And he always turns me down, or always has something else. I think he doesn't want to get hooked again on the teat. It's
a rush.
Yeah, it's a rush, man. It's fun.
Doing this show, and yeah, for sure.
Being an occasional TMS guest is a good time, and he doesn't want to get hooked again. I understand. It's an addiction.
Yeah.
We don't want to contribute to his problem. All right. For some reason, no answer from Wendi. Let me see if she has texted me.
Well, we can give our own advice. Get a book. Here's a book.
Here's a book to read.
And put your own mask on before you put on your family's mask, and you'll be fine.
Take out your own trash, I think she says.
That's right. Exactly. Yep. Good.
What else? Work on yourself. Let's look at 10 other ways of saying the exact same thing.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
Look in the mirror before you look at someone else.
Right. Take a step back and examine your own problems.
Yeah. Do all these things. And you'll be happy.
And here's a book.
All right, I'm going to ask her if she's good and see what's going on.
Okay, sounds good.
Because normally, she's pretty quick on the draw here. Although we have had moments where her phone is being funky. All right, nothing yet. Let's try ringing her again.
Hope she's all right.
Yeah, hopefully. Should be okay. I mean, she does live in Minnesota, and they finally are getting snow, so maybe things got weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Dr. Calhoun has some advice I'm going to read while we wait for Wendi.
Oh, cool. All right.
My advice is don't have kids, and if your family bothers you, don't deal with them. Oh, who's bugging? Okay. Well, is someone getting heat for not having kids or something? Listen, I'm a huge proponent of once you have kids, it's the greatest thing on the planet. But I will never tell anyone that they should have kids if they don't want them.
No.
I'll never do that.
People who don't have kids know why they shouldn't have kids, or know that kids wouldn't be the right thing for them, I guess.
Even if they're just straight up, look, if someone is just afraid to have kids.
Yeah.
No problem with that.
Yeah.
Zero issues with it. Now, if you come to me and say, we're pregnant, we're due in June, I'm going to get so excited for you. I'm going to send you stuff. Kim's going to send you a blanket. We're all going to get pumped. When you have that baby, we're going to go, oh, yeah, they keep you up at night during those first few months. Boy, howdy. And I'm going to just be there for the ride, and I love it. And I love kids, and they're amazing. But no one should tell anyone what to do with their life.
No, definitely not. Nope.
So don't do that. All right? Be nice.
Yeah, come on now, people.
All right.
Come on.
Answer from Wendi. Oh, coming sorry, she says. All right, here we go. I'm going to hit ring again.
Okay.
She says coming sorry coming comma sorry.
Coming sorry.
Coming sorry, which means that
it sounds like my high school life.
I don't know why it didn't occur to me that joke was probably coming at some point, but there it is.
Yeah, there it is. Do not make a title from that, people.
No, please don't. They'll do it, but don't. All right, let's get Wendi in here.
I'll explain the situation to Wendi. Don't worry.
Well, hello, Wendi. How are you?
I'm good.
Hello.
I had a little time blind.
Oh, no problem. Also, I think you're on that mic you don't like being on. The whatever you did, whatever was last time. It's like you're tap the thing you think you're talking into.
I love this.
Yeah,
I mean, this is the rest
what
of
happens
it.
Yeah.
It's my phone. It just picks it up and goes, you want this? Do you want me? And I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
So
some of those features are very convenient, but some apps don't know how to use them right. Like they like to force it. And they should just say, you want to switch to your desktop mic? No. Yes. Whatever. But they don't do it. Hey, it's our first Wendi segment of 2024. How does it feel?
Yeah, look at me. I can't even be on time for it. Woo!
Woo! It's all right. We just figured you got busy or you had stuff. I don't know. Is it snowing finally or anything? Or what's the deal?
What? You know, there's one state that can handle all this stuff, and it's not anywhere near us.
Weird.
Like, nothing.
Weird.
It's
Yeah,
boring.
you guys have the infrastructure. You have the snow removal plans, all that.
Experience.
Yeah, the experience.
We're used to being miserable. Everyone is like a little bit happy and like walking around like, ooh, what is this feeling in January?
Yeah.
Pretty weird.
It's a really weird weather pattern, and I keep checking it because it keeps changing. But if you look at the heat pattern one, it just shows this huge like ice dip that starts way up in Alaska, curves down like a ravine down to the center of the country and then back up and just barely skirts away from you guys. Just barely.
I know. Like on purpose. It feels personal.
Yeah. Also,
it's hard for it not for you to take it a little personally.
Exactly. So people in Oklahoma, they're like, we're going to freeze to death down here. We're like, you know what we can do? We can freeze.
Yeah.
We got it.
I feel like Canada's having a laugh, if I'm honest. I feel like they're dorking around with us.
Are you having a laugh?
Are you guys enjoying what we farted on top of you down there? Anyway, it's good to have you here. We've missed our discussions, and we need to start the year off right with a little Wendi business. The thing I sent you is a little odd, and I think it's a decent jumping off point for, as I put it in our text, passive aggressive familial issues, which everyone has a little bit. I think it exists in most extended family situations, especially sibling stuff, Although, Wendi and I get along real good, but there's always rival times or, I don't know, just stuff.
Yeah.
You get older, you hope you get away from that stuff, but it's usually when you're a kid where it's maybe the most basic, like, you stole my Fruit Loops. No, I didn't. Mom.
So my battleship for some reason.
Yeah.
I thought you were going with that.
Right.
That works. That totally works.
Yeah.
They encourage that in that game. But anyway, Wendi, I'm going to just go ahead and read what we got, and we'll see what we end up with here. So here's the background. This person sent this background section. I'll read all their sections. My siblings' family, wife, husband, and high school kids have been fighting with grandparents, the mother and father to me and sibling, grandparents to siblings' kids who are my cousins. It's a little confusing.
Which doesn't make any sense. So
No.
could you help me understand
It's
why
confusing.
It's
My
niece and nephew or something.
Yeah, it's like my siblings' family, which is a wife, husband, and high school kids, have been fighting with the grandparents, which includes a mother, a father, me, a sibling, and then grandparents to the siblings' kids who are my cousins. I still don't think I quite understand it.
They didn't. Yeah. I think they didn't mean that. Niece and nephew.
We need a diagram. Can we get a diagram?
Yeah. Can we get one drawn up real quick? Somebody do that. Is AI good at this? ChatGPT, make me a diagram. Well, anyway, it says, let's see, family tree, grandparents, my parents, me, sibling and spouse, siblings, kids, my cousins. Okay. They tried to restate the same thing short, but it didn't really work. Anyway, I recently got this interesting note. Wendy, what would you make of this, and how would you respond? Here is the email from sibling to me.
Oh, now I get it. Okay, now I see that. Actually, they did give us a diagram that kind of helps. So.
Oh, there is? Where is
it? Grandparents. It's just written out. So it's grandparents, me, the sibling, and her spouse, wife and husband, and then the siblings' kids, which would be the emailer's cousins, and they're the ones that are part of the problem, or I guess it's the sibling is the one who sent the email.
Oh, okay.
I think the sibling is our main culprit.
And the word grandparents is only in there because the siblings' kids consider them to be the grandparents. Otherwise, they would just be my parents.
Oh, get it. Okay.
And it's part of the role is here how they're grandparenting. So that's
correct.
piece.
Yes,
that is okay. That is okay. I think Brian, you cracked the code, dude. You cracked it.
Thank you. Thank you. No problem. Puzzle pint done for another week.
Thank you. Awesome. Anyway, he says he changed all the names in this thing to indicate relationship to me. Comments and parentheses are all part of the original email. All right. Here's the actual email.
Yeah.
And it's signed sibling and spouse. So we can take this as this person's sibling and the person they're married to. All right?
Yeah.
I think we've clarified as much as we can. Here we go. Hi, hope you're all doing well. As senior night for activity quickly approaches. That's a word that was replaced to hide whatever it is.
Redacted. Yeah.
Yeah. So understand this includes some redactions and or replacements of names with bracketed people.
Right. They just didn't want it, like they thought the word activity might have given, or the actual activity might have given things away. Oh my God, we're making things so confusing for the audio listeners.
It's all very confusing. But anyway,
yes.
As senior night for activity quickly approaches, I am unsure of what to do. We would really like you there. The grandparents insist on coming to games, even though sibling has repeatedly asked them not to come. This makes every game extremely uncomfortable for every member of the family. No one acknowledges them at the games. We know this disagreement may be hard for you to understand because of the way grandparents are presenting the issues. Although we don't want to share all the details, FYI, grandparents do not know what the issues are. Here is just one screenshot of the abusive things that have been said to the grandparents.
Sibling.
Where did I go there? Oh, sibling. In response to him, got it. In response to him asking them to stop being mean and hurtful, and this is one of the least mean texts. There have been more than 50 texts, emails, phone calls, and voicemails that follow this pattern. There have been threats made of pursuing Avery the athlete at college. This is really amazing.
Yeah. I think in the future, instead of the bracket and replaced with the redacted words, make up names for your family members that we can follow. So, as Bob and Jessica are the siblings. Use fake names. Hopefully their names aren't really Bob and Jessica.
To protect the innocent, that whole thing. It's an old idea. I agree with you on that. Yep. Anyway, pursuing Avery the athlete at college. Although physical violence towards sibling has been only mentioned in the phone calls. So back to the dilemma. We want you there, but we will not engage in anything with grandparents. Also, less information will be shared about Avery the athlete on senior night because I am worried for his future safety. Signed, sibling and spouse. Yeah, this would have been better with fake names. Yeah. All right, so
should we really quickly just kind of clarify? Basically, the sibling of the person who wrote in doesn't want the grandparents to come to their kids' sports games,
right?
Their children's sports games, sports games.
Yeah, they're sports games.
Sports ball.
Sports games. Whatever sports game that might be.
Yeah, whatever Avery the athlete is really into right now. Yeah.
Right. So and is actually they've had some horrible texts going back and forth, and even threatened via phone call their own child, who is the athlete who performs at these sports games, via phone calls, but not via text.
Right. And this doesn't have, we did not get any screen grabs of the text, obviously, because they're trying to protect all the names and everything.
Right, exactly.
Now, at the end of this, he adds
Is there any
this.
chance that the grandparents listen to this show?
I mean, it doesn't seem likely to me, but who knows?
Does not, but okay, yeah.
So this person who calls themselves, they call themselves Sibling in the Middle, finished up this email by saying this. Note, I take threats of violence very seriously, and I don't feel anyone is in danger. The abusive image was an incident of name-calling. Sibling was accused of lacking courage. Knowing both parties, I believe other threats have been figures of speech said in the heat of the moment on both sides. To me, this seems like a recruitment letter in the guise of an invitation. It mentions they would like us to attend, but we are never actually asked to attend. There are no question marks at the beginning, marks in the whole thing. They are just taking temperature of the situation. Are they fishing, feeling us out? Besides the lack of questions and the lack of details, the email also assumes we are getting information from the grandparents, which sibling and spouse would have no way to know, even though this is true, because we are on good terms with everyone in our life. We know the situation is ongoing, and several events have been relayed to us, but we do not seek out information or discuss it other than saying we have no insight or suggestions. We've tried to remain neutral. Thank you, Sibling in the Middle. Now, I could be wrong, Wendi, but this whole thing strikes me as some serious extended family dysfunction.
Yeah.
Not just because of the situation he's relaying, but because of how they're all communicating, including the way this email is communicated.
Really specifically not communicating is the problem.
Yeah. And
I'm going to change one word you used.
Yeah.
Serious. I'm going to take serious out because serious family dysfunction.
Well, yeah, I don't want to. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want people to assume.
We're going to call this moderate family dysfunction.
Okay. All right.
I want to level that.
We've had some serious family dysfunction on this show. So
don't want to minimize this, but wow, there's way worse versions. But you're right.
It's a lack of communication, really.
There's serious family communication disorder. We could call it that. Yeah, there is. No one's speaking in ways. I mean, the email itself, the whole thing, I'm like, I don't know what I'm even looking at. Confused. I thought, am I tired? Why can't I understand this?
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
But I think I get the gist, right? And that is grandparents are having an out with one of their children. Their grandchildren is the way the grandparents are trying to connect. And so they come and they watch the sporting events. And it's awkward. And this family's trying to hold some boundaries here. And grandparents aren't respecting that. It sounds like. Who knows if they ever communicated those boundaries? Hard to tell.
Yeah.
And then they're asking this sibling to what exactly? What is their need from our emailer? How would you guys phrase that?
Oh my gosh.
How do I bring these people together to just clear the air and hash out their issues, or leave me out of it? The option 2, leave me out of it and let me have my relationship with my sibling and their spouse and my parents, but not have to worry about who's invited to what and who can talk to whom and that sort of thing.
Yeah, this thing is this. I can tell you, Wendi, this feels like kryptonite to me. I hate this because my inclination is to go, everybody freaking knock it off and say what you mean. And say that, and it piss everybody off, because it always does. This has happened in my extended family where I call somebody out on a thing, and everyone else gets quiet, and then a couple of people are behind the scenes going, "I'm really glad you said something."
Right,
but you're not saying
not me.
Yeah, I'm glad it was you, not me. So this is one of those situations where I would be like, either get it out, or I'm not talking to any of you because this sucks and this is a waste of time, and it would have to be that way for me. I don't know that works here, though, because it sounds like if this person, sibling in the middle, said, all right, everybody in the same room, emergency meeting, let's go. If he did that, I feel like the way this is structured, I feel like he'd be in trouble.
It might actually come to blows. Yeah, exactly.
Well, we also have this thing where there's been more than 50 texts, emails, phone calls, and voicemails that follow this pattern. There have also been threats made of pursuing Avery, the athlete, at college, although physical violence towards sibling has been only mentioned in phone calls. Which those aren't not serious things. We got stalking and threat of violence. Those are, we could go to court. We're in more serious territory there. So I'll give you that for that part, right? But if you think about, it's a heightened level. So it isn't just like you're having a fight with grandma and we don't want to talk to her, so be on our team. There's something going on here. And here's where I would start. I would start with our middle sibling in the middle and just find out what they think. Because here's my guess. My guess is you don't get to have lots of your own feelings at all in this. Like what you need, want, think is the right thing is probably definitely not first, right? So I would spend some time finding out what it is they actually feel. What are they thinking? This must be terrible to have your parents in this level of disagreement with your sibling, seeing how your nieces and nephews are affected by that, like the drama. So I just would like to know, what is it like to be this sibling in the middle? And what have you done, not done? And if they're literally the sibling in the middle, meaning they're a middle child, maybe they've always felt like peacemaking. I mean, notice we have no problems with anyone in our lives. What did they say?
We have no, let's see. Where they say this, there are no.
We're on good terms with everyone.
Good terms with everybody in our lives. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, right. Okay, but I am going to make this argument that you're on good terms with everyone in your life because you just listen to what everyone's saying, and don't ever share your thought. Or do you have space to do that anyway? So, like Scott, you saying, "Hey, I'll bring everyone together. Let's discuss this." Probably is like the last thing on this person's mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's not the role. The role is to hear everyone talk bad about the other one and try to keep the peace and keep everyone still liking you.
Yeah.
Because one thing, now, if I don't know if you've ever had this experience, you're with somebody and they just start ripping on a third person and you're like, oh, I now don't know that you would be so kind with me or not. Like there should be a question.
Yeah, what are you saying about me to the other person when I'm not around? Yeah.
Right.
Immediately the first thing I think of as well.
Right. Paranoid. And so if you take your parents, and we all have mothers, you guys have been there.
Oh, yeah.
Who have talked to you about another child.
Oh, yeah.
And it's, not you, Brian, maybe. Maybe it's about a cousin.
Yeah. No sibs.
No
I couldn't write a letter. I couldn't write a letter like this.
This letter would not be happening. Do you feel kind of glad about that right now?
Very much so. Yes.
Yeah.
I have my wife's siblings, so I do have him to deal with. Yes, exactly.
Yes. Okay. So that idea of, hey, let me work through a problem with you, which is an inappropriate person to work through the problem with. The person to work the problem with is the sibling, not you.
Yeah.
But I guarantee the grandparents are doing that with this emailer. They're remaining neutral in terms of just maybe listening. It doesn't sound like they're remaining neutral by saying, hey, we're not a part of this. Please stop talking.
Yeah.
They haven't set any boundaries to protect them. And I'm guessing here, I don't know, maybe they've tried or they have. But it also sounds like these kids, Avery the athlete's going to get stalked at college.
Yeah.
Because grandparents want. Now, here's the thing. This is like classic marriage counseling, right? If I talk to the siblings and the spouse who wrote the email, they would give me this amazing justification and story. And you would go, oh, wow, your parents are terrible. Like you would buy it 100% because most of us believe our own story and aren't real good at combining the whole situation, right?
Yeah.
And so you'd buy it. Then you bring in the other partner, or in this case, the grandparents, and say, what's going on? And they're like, they're taking our grandkids away from us. We have done nothing. I mean, you would also believe them. And you'd have this really sad.
For clarification, they're his parents, right? The sibling in the middle's parents are the grandparents in question.
His parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making sure I have that
Which
right.
is why we needed fake names, dang it.
Yeah, right, exactly. Would have made things a little easier.
Yeah. But that idea of like you would hear both sides and see the truth for each of those people in that side, but also see their blindness to the bigger picture or to the other person's side. So I'm telling you, unless you are a trained mediator or a person who does this a lot in some kind of professional context, I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
And mainly because it has nothing to do with you. They're using you as go-betweens to validate their side. That's very common with human beings, right?
Yeah. Right.
And so then we throw these kids in there, and then we have this, when someone is really angry, there were threats, right? This became more violent, more at least verbally, and just name calling, right? And then
via phone anyway, at least.
Right. And lacking courage. I don't understand what that was?
Yeah,
Sibling was
like-
accused of lacking courage.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
it was like a situation. You're too much of a chicken shit to let us
Yeah.
come to his games or something like that.
Yeah,
We
could
got
have
some
been.
boomerism happening, probably, right? And
Right,
so,
a little bit, yeah.
yeah. And so we have this dynamic of like these grandparents believe they have rights to things that they don't actually have rights to. And that's just hard for a whole generation of people to understand.
Yeah.
That you don't automatically get a right to a grandchild because
No, you do not.
No, you do not. And you have to earn that, and you have to earn that through the parents, because the parents are in the end the ones that get to decide until that kid's an adult, which is why the grandparents are saying, hey, I'm going to follow Avery the athlete to college.
Right.
Right.
And wow.
Avery the
Right.
athlete.
Okay.
But kick his butt.
Yeah.
Right. Poor Avery the athlete. Also, like, we are modeling some awesome stuff for these kids.
Aren't we
Yeah,
though?
right, no
Jeez.
kidding.
That was my
Demonstrating some really good adult behavior.
Yeah,
for
that was
these
my
children.
very first thought, was like, this would be one thing if they were all old and just dealing with each other.
Sure.
But when there's kids involved, even high school age kids who are still developing and still, deciding what their life's going to be, like, this is terrible to do in front of them or around them or because of them. They're going to they feel responsible for when the heat's up like this. Like, I'll give you a tiny example of this that is kind of silly and dumb. But back a long time ago, I was like 8 years old, and we were in Lake Powell, and Wendi, you would have been a baby, so you won't remember this, but you were probably 2 or something. And Mom and Aunt Susan and a bunch of us were in a boat, and we were in this boat, and we were driving along, and I can't remember. I spilled something, food, I dropped a sandwich, something like that in the boat, and Susan kind of got mad. And I still remember, I don't remember the words, but I just remember her being like all upset that I dropped a thing on the boat.
Yeah.
And Mom went off on Susan about, don't tell my kid he did something, like defending me. And I remember the feeling of it so strongly. It's one of my most earliest memories of just complete discord and dysfunction and anger and all of this. And I thought that was my fault for the longest time. That whole sister rivalry thing, which apparently was way more advanced, had nothing to do with me. I was a catalyst at the moment for Susan going off, but they had a relationship issue for a long time as sisters.
Yeah.
And that entire mess, all of that yelling back and forth, I remember not the words, but the feeling of that event so vividly, and it stuck with me my entire life to this day. If it's just such a negative blot in my history. People don't realize, it's one thing to like outright abuse a child. That's one thing.
Yeah.
But people don't realize that they're doing a version of it when they're just dealing with their own stupidness. You know what I'm saying? Like Mom and her not being able to get their relationship together created this vortex that I thought I was responsible for. And it took me forever but to this day, I still feel kind of bad about it, even though it was nothing. I'm an 8-year-old. I dropped a thing. It's not a big deal.
And if you had just not dropped that sandwich, Scott, their relationship would be fine.
Right, exactly.
Right, and plus the funny thing is I'm the one
that
that screwed myself, because if it was the sandwich, as my memory is, I dropped a bologna sandwich. That's my sandwich. I'm the one out the sandwich. Everyone else is fine.
There's sand down there and probably some hair.
Yeah, and I'm not going to eat it.
That was my
now.
first thought. Ugh, gross. Don't eat that sandwich.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You're totally right, and that is the exact thing that's coming across. So this kid. Notice that last sign on senior night, Avery the athlete on senior night, they're going to share less information. So my guess is it's honoring athletes, like they have a banquet or something, right? Very common after a sporting year or whatever. You're going to have a big banquet. They're going to talk about each of the seniors, and they have a poster, whatever the things might be to just honor that athlete. So it sounds like, listen, either the sibling and the spouse are just over dramatic, or these grandparents, they believe pose a real threat to this kid's well-being, right?
Right.
If you're going to restrict information being shared about your kid, maybe it's like what college he's going to, maybe it's some things he's accomplished, because this sounds like, let's just take the parents of the kids' side for just a second.
Okay.
What is happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
What level of intrusion are you pulling off that your family needs to feel like they can't allow a grandchild to be known by you, right? And so So for that sense, they've got to hold boundaries. They've got to be careful. They're obviously not inviting the grandparents to all these things. They're just showing up. So it must be a community where they get the email, right?
Mm-hmm.
Poor school districts. Can you imagine how handling all this crap?
Yeah, how you do it.
My grandparents are not allowed to see me. Like, what a nightmare.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you have all of that going on. And what you're really looking at, and then we'll get to what we're going to have the emailer do, okay? But what you're really looking at is a whole lack of self-awareness on the grandparents' part.
Mm-hmm.
You have also, the siblings and the spouse, who knows what they're doing to mishandle this. It's very possible they are, but it's hard to tell. You don't know. We don't have enough information. Mm-hmm. But nobody maybe is getting what they need. Now, there's a version of just like grandparents are stalkers and crazy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That exists.
Yeah.
But let's say it's more neutral than that. Then everyone's going, and here's the problem. They're going to the wrong sources to resolve it. And they're going to the neutral party who is not neutral at all, but is carrying the burden. Obviously, you don't write into a show with all of this if this is not a major burden on your life.
Yeah, no, I can hear it in the email.
That's terrible.
It's stressful, and you're not even involved. Just happen to be the central hub between these. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my guess is you've always been that. You've always been the neutral place. And how this all got started, maybe be honest with the role you've always played. Like what inadvertently, and because you care about these people, right? There's no malice here at all.
Right.
But what role have you always been playing? So if you're the peacemaker, if I just want everyone to get along, if I just need everyone to like me. And when you are watching everyone hate each other or hate on each other, it is really scary to be vulnerable in a group like that, right?
Yeah.
To have your own needs or your own thoughts, or even ask everyone to leave you alone.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are watching what happened when your sibling asked for space or some version of that, right? Like, so lots of messaging that in this dynamic, you're not safe. You're not safe to be you. There's no way to resolve this. And so maybe the sibling in their desperation is reaching out for this guy to handle it in a certain way. I mean, basically the request is like, come, but don't expect things to go well. I'm trying to remember what do you exactly
Yeah, they
want
said
from them?
we'd really like you to there, even though we know it's going to be extremely uncomfortable for every member of the family.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're asking for support. They're asking because obviously they're neutral enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So the question is, well, let me ask you guys. Let's say you're this person.
Mm-hmm.
The request is that you come. Grandparents are going to be there busting in. It's going to be awkward.
Mm-hmm.
Grandparents are going to try to rope you in, collude with you, I'm guessing.
Of course. Right. They always
Right?
somebody, well, and if they don't, then sibling will, right? Sibling and spouse.
Yeah.
Someone's going to get you to sit by them.
Trying to, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Switzerland, right in the middle.
What would you do? What would you do?
I mean, that is, a joke, but that is what I try to do. I would go out of my way to make sure that I hang out with each set of people equally. I would sit between them if I needed to. We don't have, like I said, I don't have a sibling, but I do have a cousin that we had some problems with, an argument with years ago, and this was on my stepmother. So it's my stepmother's niece, and had a situation with her that we had an argument about. We've kind of put it behind us. She is still holding the grudge to the point where when she's showed up at a restaurant that we were at, we saw her come in, see us sitting at a table at the restaurant, and then turn around and leave the restaurant and go to another restaurant.
Jeez.
Because Tina and I are so horrible.
Yeah.
But
you are scary.
But my stepmom is she really wants the water to be smooth and be clean between us, and says, would you ever consider letting her back in your life? And we basically say, we've tried reaching out to her, and that we just don't want to keep trying it. She's already snubbed us. We don't feel like continuing to do that, and we don't have a cousin-sized hole in our life that needs to be filled. That we need her, or that we want, that we want her back in our life. We'll absolutely, every time we see her at a family function, be gracious and friendly and ask her how she's doing, that sort of thing. We care about her, but we don't want to be invited to a party that'll have us. Or what's the phrase? I don't want to be part of any club that wants me as a member, kind of thing. It's if she doesn't want us to be there, we don't want to be, or if she doesn't want to be part of our lives, we're fine with that. We don't want her in our life if it's going to be a problem for her, which it clearly is.
Yeah.
So maybe no sibling, but we do know what a lot of this like internal familial acrimony is like.
Yeah. And Scott, I want you to answer, and then I'm going to talk about like what actually is going on in people's heads a little bit when you're in this state of mind when it comes to a family or a friend, because I think this can happen definitely with friends as well, right?
Yeah.
So Scott, what would you do?
Well, it's hard because I don't have this with siblings either. Everybody just sort of gets along. And if I have an issue where I don't like, something that's being decided on for, I don't know, a get together or something, or if there's some reason why I feel like something has to be said, I just say it. And people either, then we either adjust or I live with the majority vote. It's fine. Like this, I have no real issues with siblings, but I do run into this stuff with John all the time.
Yeah.
And despite the fact that he's 94 and should just be in a chair, he still acts like
not have any opinions anymore.
Yeah, he still acts like he's 30 and everybody should listen to what he has to say. And it's fine, but what I do is a lot like what Brian described. I know that he talked some smack or something behind my back because I didn't agree with something he said, or Kim didn't hug him right away at an event or something. There's a whole story with that just was so stupid. And I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to like, well, I'm still going to the family thing, and I'll still hug him and say, John, how you doing, and how's it going? So it's not that I'm pretending like nothing happened,
right?
But he knows, and I know. So, either you're gonna, what I'm not gonna do is create situations where there's gonna be a clash unless someone forces it. But I'm not gonna go to one of these events and have like an agenda on how I'm going to call him out or something.
A battle that makes everybody feel uncomfortable and awkward, and
I don't want any of that. But I don't avoid the thing. So if it's it's Christmas wherever, then I'm going. Thanksgiving at Misha's. Let's go.
You would go. You'd go to celebrate Avery the athlete, and where would you sit?
I would sit. So I would be. And I'm one of these siblings in this, or I'm the sibling in the middle in this situation.
You're the emailer.
You're sibling in the middle. You're Malcolm in the middle. Oh, I hope his name is not Malcolm.
I would sit close. I would sit in whatever proximity is the right proximity to celebrate the whole point of Avery, the athlete, having senior night. That's it. Like I would go in full, why are we actually here mode, not worry about all the peripheral crap that's still just going to be a problem no matter what we do. I would be like, I do this now. It's like if I go to one of Van's soccer games, I am 1,000% there for Van and do not care if another parent's getting loud or somebody is getting too competitive or a ref makes some mistake and they're losing now. Do not care. I care about if he's grinning, if he's having a good time, if he wants me to hold his hat, I'll do it. Like I want to be there for the kid
with the other kids, etc.
I just want to be there for the kid. That's it. And I'm of the personal belief that shores up the stuff Wendi was talking about earlier, which is it is up to Taylor and Dylan how their kids are raised. This is their time now. So what do I get in this deal? I don't get to go, well, I'm the patriarch of this unit, and I design. I'm not doing any of that.
You will do what I say, what I decree.
Exactly. The best way into the heart of that kid is for me to be there for the kid. That's it.
And support him. Yeah.
Right. And me doing that supports his parents, which they like, which means everybody's going to be in a good circle. So unless I have some crazy motive, let's say I'm the grandparent in this situation.
Yeah.
Unless
you're not doing it for the grandkid. You are doing it for you.
Yeah. Like if that's the case, that's your core issue.
Yeah.
Your parents are kind of effed up because I understand that it's hard. I understand you want to constantly give advice. I understand you want to be the wisdom in the room anytime life has a question. and that you think everybody should go, oh, stop what we're doing. Let's hear what the
what does great leader have to say?
Yeah, what does the oracle have to tell us today so that we can live our lives more according to his wisdom? F that noise. Like, I'm not doing that, because for you got to know your own weaknesses and know that you're fallible. The generational differences are real. You know, like I got in an argument with, it used to be kind of a cute thing to tell people that Dad referred to the Korean kids.
With slang terms.
Because in our house we thought, well, that's a term of endearment because he never did it in a mean way. And it all felt fine. It was the outside world that would use those terms and make everybody uncomfortable.
Well, he did it on purpose.
He did it on purpose, exactly.
But defuse them, basically, or to take away their power.
Yeah. Try, by the way, explaining the cuteness of that to Gen Z and see how they respond to it.
Oh, yeah, no.
They can't do it.
They don't get it.
I do anyway.
I do also. And Nick and B the other night were just like, that's terrible. I'm like, yeah, but my dad, it was never a thing that was blah, blah, blah. And so we were having this whole thing. And there is a point where you just have to go, this was
and they don't know your dad.
No, and it was it was me in the 90s. It was no different with me and my parents and them and their parents and them and their parents, all the way back to whenever. Like, this is just what you do. So the quicker you can let go of that, you just
what is B and Nick's kids generation gonna think B and Nick are ridiculous about?
Oh, they're gonna more things than I'd care to list, but then that might just be me doing my thing, right?
Right.
So the sooner
they're going to be writing into a podcast to say about you.
Yeah. So literally, this is my only advice. The best thing you can do is to let yourself go and drop this idea that you know it all, or that you are the most important voice in the room, because you're not anymore. You may have been at one time, but you're not now, and it's okay.
You're talking to the grandpa.
It's okay that you don't have that kind of power anymore. And it's okay that that's transferred to these others you brought into the world. And it's okay that they're doing that now for their kids. It's fine. And the quicker you admire or you embrace that, the more you can freaking relax, dude. Like, enjoy the kids.
I'm guessing our listener is laughing right now. Like, you tell my dad that.
Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because on some level,
that works for you.
You're 100% right, but there are definitely people who, and they react stronger and stronger the closer any of that kind of sort of actual growing up is told to them, right? The actual response to generational differences or to anyone who thinks differently is a sign of the work you have either done or not done, your maturity, your willingness to hear somebody else out, not thinking you're the most important. And usually, and actually, I'll just dive into that real quick. What's going on in somebody's head when they have been the center of their own family life, and then they're less relevant or there's conflict and things start to fall apart, is you use the skills you have. And this is where the generational divide really shows up. Right? Where what skills do you have besides you will do what I say, you will cry, I'll give you something to cry about. Like, if you think of what the template really was, it is force or silence, or it's not good communication. So then when that fire is lit in your own life, you then have to navigate some really difficult emotional conversations or apologize or whatever that might be, and that is not in your wheelhouse. Then other people's boundaries get to determine what ends up happening. So that response is just harsher and harsher towards somebody's boundaries, which tells you something. It's not about a relationship, it's about the power or the role that you've always had and now you do not have. So they're going to go around it, they're going to threaten, they're going to yell, they're going to do those other things. I mean, that level of maturity is showing through. So what age would you put that at? Probably not a 70-year-old. That would be maturity level of a teenager.
Yeah.
And so that's hard to see and recognize when that's your parent. It's really hard to see your parents accurately because it's scary. It's scary to see maybe they are not okay in any way, right? And so the person setting the boundaries, the sibling and their spouse and the kids, they're setting boundaries for their own sanity, their own safety, their own whatever they're doing it for. I don't know. And they're running into that conflict. So this Malcolm in the middle is having the unfortunate job that everybody is coming to them to try to manage their feelings about the other without ever working that out directly. Because obviously it's not safe to do that, right? So something I reread just a little part of what they had written that I think is helpful to know. So listen to this part again. To me, this seems like a recruitment letter. So that's what they feel like.
I was wondering about that. Yeah, we went past that, but I was wondering about the recruitment, like recruiting them to your side.
Yes,
right?
in the guise of an invitation.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and it mentions that they would like us to attend, but we are never actually asked to attend. There are no question marks in the whole thing. Are they just taking the temperature of the situation? Are they fishing, feeling us out? So here is where, when people are using passive-aggressive communication, you have this incredible option that most of us don't use because we aren't just black and white thinkers. We're like reading into it and trying to understand what they really mean, you know. But I want you to get real childlike about this and just see it as black and white, which is, oh, hold on, am I invited? Like, just ask. Find out. Am I invited? Would you like us to come? I want to be there for Avery if that's what Avery wants. Yeah, let me know. And then, but I didn't see that in the email, so I wasn't clear. That wasn't clear, right?
Yeah.
Just ask them to clarify. So then they can say, oh, you're not invited. Or yes, you're invited.
Oh, no, we'd love to have you. Sorry if that didn't come across as such. Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. And really, they're just probably being really careful. It may not be passive aggressive because here's the thing. You have both sets in your ear. You have mainly grandparents in your ear is what I'm suspecting, because listen to the last paragraph. Besides the lack of questions and the lack of details, the email also assumes we're getting information from the grandparents.
Oh, sure.
Which they would have no way to know, quote, or parenthesis, although it is true. Well, guess what? They know.
Yeah, they know, and it might even be the grandparents saying, yeah, we talked to your sibling about this. Yeah. Right, exactly.
I guarantee that's happening.
Yeah, so and they agree with us, even though they might not, right?
100%. 100%. So you got to extract yourself from that equation, or you're just going to have to keep doing this, right? You get to choose. Do you want to be an independent actor here, or do you want to be the pawn of each of them? And it sounds like grandparents have more sway over this person than the sibling, or have more information maybe, and they're just trying to be neutral. I get that. But here's what's really tough. And I understand right now what I'm saying, you're probably going to recoil and go, no. And that is to set some boundaries with your parents that you will not talk about this other family. So I have done this. It is, because it's, first of all, torture for you.
Yeah.
Can you say something like this? Hey guys, guess what? I had to write an email in and I had to have these two guys who have no qualifications help me.
Yeah, exactly. I had to have Beanie in the toaster help me out with my problem because
that's how desperate I am.
Yeah.
And so can you just let me draw this line? Because I'm going to just assume that the reason they haven't done that already is because clearly look what happens when you set boundaries with grandma and grandpa.
Yeah.
So it's pretty scary. So you got to decide though, and is this person's partnered? I think they were. Maybe.
I think so.
Maybe have their own kids or kids coming, or I don't know how this all works for them other than they keep being the neutral on good terms with everyone. So it means they have enough boundaries, right?
Yeah.
Or they have enough, they're just not triggered by some of the same things, right?
Yeah.
But extricating yourself from this would be huge. And really, Scott's point's a really good one, which is, what is in the best interest of Avery? So ask them, hey, was that an invitation?
Sure.
Sorry, I maybe misunderstood. And then when they, oh yeah, it is an invitation. You're like, great, what time is it? What can I give Avery as a gift?
Focus
on him. Love
to
support Avery.
Yep.
And then I would do this because this is how I'm passive aggressive. And actually, I wouldn't even have to try, you guys, because I am naturally very
natural.
late.
Yeah. No, I like this. This is exactly what I would do too.
Yeah, I'd show up late. I would show up late and sit in the back row. That's what I would do. Or I would show up so early that I could pick some randos to sit between. But
that wouldn't allow you to have anybody take your side. Like, right, glom onto you.
There's ways to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I would do physically to be there for Avery, but I would also clarify, the less passive aggressive, the more assertive, the more honest you are with both parties, the better this is going to be.
Agreed. This is man, you're speaking my language. I can't stand when there's like any of this in between people and nobody wants to say anything. Just freaking say it. And you can do it in a way that, like you just demonstrated, you can do it in a nice way. Diplomatic, It doesn't have to be confrontational, but just get it out there and just let the air out of that nasty mattress.
You just have to figure out how to separate the buildup of frustration, anger that you've had, that you've probably created yourself when you address it, so it doesn't come out like a
yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's some of that.
Because no matter who you're listening to it, and going back to this couple counseling thing, truly, if I sat with one of the spouses and heard every single story, guess what I'm going to believe? Them.
Yeah. Sure, of course.
Right? But then I hear the other side of the exact same story and I'm like, whoa, that's so different.
That's not what they said at all.
That is not, and same story. You were both in the Bahamas on a honeymoon and but none of the facts are matching in terms of who is fault, blah, blah, blah. And what that is immature communication. And it is not healthy and it needs work. And unless you are a professional who wants to do this job clearly for free, then step out of it, right? Yeah. Fire yourself. And so you can do that in a couple different ways and still be keeping the peace. But I think the big one is like, don't put up with crappy communication anymore. Just say, am I invited or not? And then how can I support this kid? Great. And if this person wants to talk to you about mom and dad, you're like, that's a subject I don't go down the road. You're welcome.
That's right. You probably should talk to them about that. Or here's a book.
Here's an email. Send an email to these 3 people. They'll help you. And then grandparents, I know this would be really tough, but that's probably where most of the boundaries need to be set. Yeah. And it could just be like, I'm sorry you're in pain. I can't help you with that. I'm sorry. You can just kind of repeat yourself. Like a great strategy when someone has this passive aggressive behind your back crap, you just repeat something kind of over and over. You don't do it in an obnoxious way, but just kind of like, I'm sorry that hurt you.
Yeah.
And you have it on repeat and then you change the subject. There's a lot of skills you can just employ to get out of some of this and not have to maybe have a massive confrontation. Because it sounds like that's not your mojo, right? You're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But it may be important to stop being where they drop all of this stuff. So I have a particular family member who likes to tell me things about how he disagrees with other people's parenting. And I love to just be like, remind me what it was like when you were a parent. Like I just turn it right back to in the 70s.
Gosh, I wonder who that is.
I don't know who I would be talking about.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But it is so easy to do because everyone really in the end either just wants to complain, wants to be heard, wants to be seen. And so I just do it in a different way. But usually what it does is it shuts the whole thing down because it's not actually what they need. They don't want the grace applied to them as parents in the 70s to be applied to the parents of the modern era. So flipping it to, something else or, hey, let me tell you about my kid. Because here's the thing I am worried about. If Malcolm in the Middle has children, if Malcolm in the Middle has a spouse, their kids are getting ignored.
Yeah.
I know they are.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Or they're getting
so focused on
cahoots.
this.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're toxic folks, people. They are, and I think we're a little too quick to cut everyone out of our lives. I think you've got to do some due diligence and some work at it. And most people, without learning their own strategies and setting boundaries and trying some stuff, might just jump to the easiest thing, and that's just to be done.
Yeah.
But it sounds like this person doesn't have that interest at all, but just needs to protect themselves a little bit better.
Yeah.
And get people to communicate a little more straightforward. Just them directly.
I'm just rooting for Avery the athlete. That's all at this point. The rest of you can work out all your freaking adult issues. Do it. Definitely work on it. But he's the one that I want to break the chain and get the F away from this behavior and have a great life. Either as an athlete, hey, if it doesn't work out, you don't get in the NFL, it's okay. Go have another career. Either way, don't have all this weird bullshit you see your grandparents and your parents engaged in.
Exactly. Yeah. Get out of that cycle. And
if you can.
To our emailer, I just say, sometimes you just got to say to yourself, yes, no, maybe, I don't know. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Say that again in a way that I could understand because I'm not understanding you.
All right.
Yeah. Well, you're doing your job too good of listening. So stop listening.
Stop listening so hard.
Right.
Let us know, Malcolm, who we've now called you in the middle, and let us know how it goes, what it was like to work with the future Walter White. And we can't wait to get some stuff back from you. It's a deep cut. Wendi, this is great. I'm good. We started the year off right with some, the holidays are over, so now we're just left with grumpy people. And
we are. I'm telling you, my January influx, it's real this year. What happened at everyone's Christmases?
Yeah. That'll be.
So it is real. We did talk a little bit about, and I had somebody send a book recommendation, but I'd love an email to riff on too of shadow work, which actually would really apply to this grandparents. Mm-hmm. But anybody who's got something there, a question they want to ask about that or whatever would be a fun jumping off point. I think that'd be fun to do. But I mean, I'm open to whatever, but I also think the shadow is fun to talk about.
That one I don't know. I don't know.
The shadow.
I don't know what evil lurks in the hearts of men.
Whenever you hear the word shadow, don't you hear Gollum saying shadow?
Oh, a little bit. Yeah, now that you
say it. No,
actually
I don't.
Now that you say it, I think of the shadow.
Precious, yes, but not shadow. Yeah.
He says shadow. Anyway.
Something in shadow. Right. He does say that. But I think of like Brian. I think of the
you think of Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin movie
with a thing over his mouth. And a bandana.
Only the shadow knows. It's garbage. That movie sucks. But
it's anyway. So bad. Yeah.
I'll think of Gollum next time. Wendi,
that's a better thing to
please
think
do.
of.
Have a fantastic week, and we'll do this again next time. Bye now.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, that was.
I really wish
excellent.
Wendi would. When she answers the call, I know she's probably got a phone up to her head, or she's using the thing so she doesn't look at the phone, doesn't look at the pictures in our discussion. But 2 pictures of IUDs and then Johnny Rotten. It's just like such a weird taboo category or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it must be. If she was looking in there and actually paying attention to that stuff, it would probably be like, "What are you guys doing before I come
Why
on?"
do you have pictures of IUDs in your chat?
I think of that with everyone we bring into the call because I'm like, what did we just send to each other?
Because there are some weird things that we've had pictures of in here.
And some of them have been. Unless you explain it, it's a real weird deal.
Coral snakes and revolution hats and
Get some audio in here. What's the audio of?
That's right. Taylor Swift, where she parts
good
her
evening, Theodore's wrecking y'all.
Oh, yeah, the guy from...
Brad Roberts.
Brad Roberts. So, this is a confusing mix in here.
It is.
And we're all wondering what the heck. All right, that is it for today's program. I'll tell you this, though. We got stuff coming up. We got Coverville today at noon. All right, so watch for that.
Jimmy Page.
That's right. Everyone loves take a page out of the Jimmy Page book.
Great Inuit cover of Going to California going to be played on the show today.
Ooh,
that sounds cool. The Inuit language. Yeah.
Wow, that'll be a first for me to ever hear that. So you can do that live or get the podcast, but check it out. Coverville on twitch.tv/Coverville today. Core tonight at 4 p.m. That'll be here at frogpants.tv. And pick your poison. You can stream it wherever now, but the podcast will be up shortly after. We got a bunch to talk about. A few things dropped in the news this week, plus some big game stuff going on. So come check out our hot show tonight. Core, 4 p.m. Mountain Time, right here. Patreon Couch Party tomorrow at 10. We are starting... I don't know if we're doing the whole thing. Are we cutting that in half, or how are we doing the movie? We haven't talked about that.
Oh, how long is Real Genius?
Yeah, Real Genius. We got to figure out the runtime.
Look at it right now, and it is 1 hour and 48 minutes. I'd say, you know what? Starting at 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
We're ripping
let's
through
do the
it.
Whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ripping through it. Real Genius. Val Kilmer.
Is there any nudity in that? Do we need to worry about that?
Nah.
Let me look at the parents' guide on IMDb.
I mean, it's just in Discord. But if you're worried and you're coming in there, just so you know, well, there may be some stuff.
Kissing, some mild sexual references, and a few women are wearing bikinis.
Oh my gosh! By the way, their budget $8 million. Their box office $13 million. Things were different in '85.
Yeah, they were. Yep.
Anyway, that's coming up. Watch for that. And also tomorrow...
What is intended to be a dramatization? A person is vaporized by a powerful laser.
What? All right, forget it. We're not watching it. Forget it.
Yeah, forget it.
Play Retro... That's for patrons, by the way. Tomorrow, Play Retro at 1:30 p.m. tomorrow. Me and Dunaway. Right. So shortly after we finish up Couch Party. And then Skim at some point between now and then. I don't know when we're doing it, but we are doing one, Kim and I. Yep. And I think that's it, everybody. I think that's it. That's all she wrote.
Almost. Guess the connection tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Oh,
and
right.
I'll tell you, folks, 4 or 5 guesses, but nobody's gotten this week's connection yet. So if you're a Coverville patron and you can become one for just $1 a month, cheap, made that mistake too, you can potentially win some cool prizes, which include a 3D printed Mandalorian, an extra that I have that's already painted in gunmetal silver, and a set of Portal 2 coasters that look like, I'll just show you. Like how cool
Are they orange and blue?
No, they're the...
so I can't drop a cup in one and have a pop. Oh, look at that.
These are actual ceramic
Love it.
coasters that are the portal signs.
Yeah, like the... what's the name of the company? My brain just went dead.
Aperture Science.
Aperture Science signs like, warning, this could have a fall.
Aperture Science.
Oh, man. I miss those games.
Right. I
There's
do too.
supposedly a brand new mod for Portal 2 just came out that's like a full game someone made. It's basically a Portal 2 expansion.
Yeah.
I gotta play that.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, I'll need to.
I think it's free. I think it's just a straight up mod, yeah. Anyway, that'll do it for us. Thank you all for listening. Been a real treat today. We're gonna get out of here with some music, and Brian brought it, so you may as well play it.
It's been a real hoot. Let's move from Ireland to Iceland, which obviously they're just one letter apart. That's how close they are. Hi there, Scott and Brian. My name is Balder. I am the legally blind guy from Iceland with Nova, the guide dog. I've written in a couple times before over the years, but I don't expect you to remember. Totally remember. Oh my gosh.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. A name like Balder? Come on, how are we gonna forget that?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm turning 50 on the 14th of January this year.
Oh my
And I'm wondering
gosh.
if I could get a song request in for my Monday walk with Nova, if possible. But anytime during the week is fine. I've always been a massive Beth Gibbons fan and fell in love with her when I heard the Dummy album from Portishead when I was young. Love that album. That is, and what is that? That is trip hop. That's a genre I can't get enough of. She's an amazing singer, but unfortunately she has not recorded many covers. Her album Out of Season with Rustin Man, is also one of my favorite albums of all time. If you find or can play anything sung by Beth Gibbons on the show, it'd make my day. If not, I heard recently the surprisingly good cover of Glory Box by Oscar winner Olivia Colman that she recorded for the BBC Children in Need a few years back. And that one would also work if you have it. If not, just pick something you think would be appropriate. Thank you both and all the contributions to TMS for all the great entertainment over the years. Been listening since the beginning and will continue to listen while you do this great show. Signed,
Awesome.
Balder.
Nice. Balder, here's the deal. I've made a decision after yesterday. Anyone 40 and up, they get this.
Happy birthday.
Anything younger, they get the other one. All right, that's the deal.
Fair enough.
All
40 is the cutoff.
40 is the
All right.
cutoff, and you're 50 is a big one. So, grats for making it this long. You officially have lived longer than the average lifespan in the 1800s. Nicely done.
Ha! Well done. Yes, something achievement to pat yourself on the back for.
Sure.
Hey, you know what? That Olivia Colman cover of Portishead's Glory Box is fantastic, and so hell yes, we're going to play it. This will blow your mind if you haven't heard it, because Olivia Colman is she's got the right voice for this sort of thing. She's just awesome. There's nothing right now. I don't think there's anything that Olivia Colman can't do. I think she's amazing.
I didn't know she could sing. That's news to me.
Yeah. And
love her.
And that movie she did 2 years ago where she's on a vacation and sees another family that she kind of becomes obsessed with. Wish I could remember the name of it. It is fantastic and underappreciated. You need to check that movie out. You need to find out the name of it and then check that movie out. All right. Here is from the BBC Children in Need Got It covered album from 2019. Here's Olivia Colman covering Portishead's Glory Box.
Get more at frogpants.com.
Well, there's an old favorite. I haven't heard in a while.
Oh, Monty.